wheels. Look at this thing. Method race wheels. Holy smokes. This thing is seriously upgraded. It is a cool looking rig, man. It is lifted. I bet the mileage is awesome on this. I do like though how these people tell me, you guys that do this. So you do this, don't complain about your mileage when you do this and you're like mall crawling or using it for commuting, because that will not help your mileage when you're sticking out that far in the fenders. It also doesn't help you lose off-road capability. It really just looks cool, but you actually don't gain a lot of off-road capability by doing that. If you have the wheel, the inside here, the tire inside here, you get more travel range. You'll also have to explain this to me. Why do people, so you do all this stuff and you take up pretty much all the space in the bed, and then you've got the tire back here. So I mean, it's just, you have no room. It's an interesting, it looks cool. I think functionality wise, it's always puzzled me because you're kind of losing functionality. Oh look, tail hooks in a winch. This is a 2022 STAP certified. If it hasn't had a new crate engine in it yet, boy, that'd be scary, wouldn't it? 2022. So certification says 6 month, 6,000 mile powertrain. That's what certified means, really? As is, no dealer warranty. Wow. Look at all the work that's been done to this thing. We are out here at Toyota today, checking out the Tundras, Tacomas. We got Landcruisers over here, and we're gonna check out to see how affected they are by tariffs. I'm gonna show you which models potentially could go up in price here soon, at least before tax season rolls around or during it. $71,000. The Tundras are gonna be United States, the Alabama on the engines, then they're assembled in San Antonio. So I think the Tundra is gonna be pretty safe as far as tariffs are concerned, but I mean, there's a chance that they still might be affected a little bit. So let's see. Yeah, so this is US Canadian 55%. Japanese, the transmission and things like that, 15%. So Mexico, 15% on the Tundra assembled in San Antonio, engine and transmission, engines in the USA and transmission in Japan. So that's going to be across the board on the Tundras. So they are going to be affected a little bit, maybe a little bit more than I thought initially. Initially, I thought, you know, gosh, the Tundras will be safe from tariff costs, but maybe not. Let's take a peek at wonderful Landcruisers over here. Oh, look at this. Sold. These are selling like hotcakes. I talked to a salesman at the other Toyota dealer down in Parker, and they said these are definitely flying off the lot. Will they be affected? US Canadian 0. Japan 100%. So these are not going to be really affected that much by tariffs. Should be safe, so the prices should stay pretty solid on the Landcruiser. Not that, you know, the Landcruiser buyers, not that they really necessarily care about price all that much. That's generally not the demographic. They're usually a little wealthier people. We do have quite a few Tundras here, but fewer than before. We used to have some here. We used to have Tundras all lined up here, but they are gone now. I don't know if they stopped with allocations for a while to get rid of them or what. So here we go on the Taco TRD off-road. Got some pretty interesting wheels, nice upgraded suspension. So this Taco it's the off-road ice cap, 55,000, 56 after their little dealer handling, and delivery fee is $1,495. I do like the looks of the Tacoma, but boy, these are going to be, I think these are going to be really nailed by the tariffs. 35% US Canadian, 20% Japanese, Mexico 30%, final assembly, Mexico. This is really going to affect the engine and transmission, say US, but the assembly point in Mexico is really going to affect it, and 30% parts. So yeah, it's definitely going to be hit. Will the Tacoma go up in price? Man, wouldn't that be something? Everybody, you know, has really been kind of wishing that the prices weren't so high on everything, really, and especially the Tacoma. It's been one of those things. Look under here. We have a TRD. I mean, everybody knows this. Plastic skid plate on the TRD off-road. And that is really what bugs people the most about this is Mexican made on some of them, and then you know, that doesn't bug me as much if the quality's there, but the prices are going to jump up from tariffs. But stuff like a plastic skid plate on a TRD off-road, like, come on, Toyota. My old 2008 Sequoia, it's like freaking soccer mom vehicle. That thing has a big metal skid plate underneath. Stop cutting costs. Just, you know, give the people something that, if you give them a truck, build a truck. Don't build a mall crawler. I suppose most people, their studies show that most people go to the malls. That's probably another reason why they want to constantly track people. Because if you track people and you can tell what their habits are, you can tell, oh, they actually don't go driving these off-road that much. So then the 5% that do, those are the 5% that have to add metal skid plates to their truck. Here's a limited, still the same insanity. $55,000 for the limited. Same thing, 20% Japanese, Mexican 30%. Gonna be hit pretty hard. This thing is generating some serious power from these. They have solar panels up top, and then these are to protect all the cars from hail. Every year we've been getting insane amounts of hail here. That's why you see these massive tents over all these cars. I get asked that in the comments a lot. We have tons of hail here, and it just got to the point where insurance costs too much, so people, the dealerships didn't want to continue to fund the problem. 55% US Canadian on this Camry, Japanese 30%, assembled in Kentucky, United States engine, transmission. So that's interesting. The new Camrys are probably not going to be affected too much by these tariffs. We'll have to see if the price goes up a little bit. I would assume that it's going to stay pretty close to where it's at. So that's a lot of, and it depends on the Canadian parts and where they're getting their steel and aluminum. So here's 36,000 on this Camry. So I mean, maybe the Camrys go up to, you know, 38,000. I don't really know. We do have some other stuff. I don't really want to film these people. They're out here on a Sunday. I doubt they want to be in my YouTube video. So we've got the Crown. And let's see if we can find the parts list on the Crown here. So 55,000 for the Crown. This is a limited. So the Crown, 0% US Canadian, 100% Japanese. So the Crown's looking good. It's probably not going to suffer much from the tariffs. Same here. We've got 80% Japan, 20% China. So this one will be affected as well because its engine transmission are Japan, but and it's assembled in Japan, but Chinese parts 20%. Same here. You got US Canadian parts 70%. Source of foreign parts Japan 10%. This is assembled in Canada, this one. Engine US, transmission Japan. So this will definitely get hammered. Definitely going to get taken by the tariffs on some of these RAV4s. It's interesting. What's the price of this? This is just an LE and it's 32,000. Yeah, so 32,000. So yeah, could you imagine if just this little RAV4 goes up to 35,000, 37,000? I mean, I don't know. I guess people might still buy them because it's a Toyota. Hard to say. Check out one more here. So this is a limited for 43. Yeah, US Canadian 70%, 10% Japanese. US for the transmission and engine, assembled in Ontario though. So we have the Cross, the Corolla Cross. So the Corolla Cross, 60% US Canadian, 25% Japanese, assembled in Huntsville, Alabama. So this one won't be hit quite as hard for the Corolla Cross. How about the Prius? We're talking 0% US Canadian, 85% Japanese, 15% Chinese, so Japan, Japan, Japan. So Prius shouldn't be affected too much on the Prius. I would assume prices are going to stay pretty solid on that. And Toyota will probably, they're not going to just raise prices if they're not selling them either. They're going to keep them the same. So yeah, final assembly point. Japan, 43,000 for that little tiny Prius. You'll have to let me know in the comments. I haven't figured this out. Why would you buy a Prius over a Camry if the mileage is similar? the Camry is so much nicer and bigger. And is it just the size? Do people really just not want that large of a car? We got 51,000 on this Crown Signia. Everything's already sky high, but if tariffs push some of these specific models, it's not really the brand, it's specific to the model. You saw some of them are fully Japanese, some of them are just a smattering of different materials. So it's going to be an interesting ride. Thanks for watching. Till next time.